Welcome back, everyone. We are continuing our conversation about neurofeedback with owner of NeuroFit, Cami Storm. So, Tia, before we went to the commercial break, you mentioned your experience doing neurofeedback. What was it like, and how do you feel it has really changed you?
Okay, I feel like the changes, they're subtle, but when I look back at where I started, it feels like the impact is a lot bigger than just these like subtle experiences or subtle changes that I experienced from session to session. But the overall appointment, so my appointments I would usually schedule for right after work. So I just got done, you know, maybe being a little bit on the higher stress side of things, exerted a lot of energy. So to actually just like sit there and focus on the screen, that was a nice meditative moment, just that, not even like considering my results and the changes that I experienced. It was nice just to sit in that chair and meditate for 30 minutes. But then the big changes that I experienced are, I feel like less anxious across the board. I'm a little bit of an anxious individual, and I still would say that I'm somewhat of an anxious individual, but I'm not anxious about things that aren't, I'm not getting caught up, but I'm not making up stories in my head. I'm not getting anxious about what could be. I'm not getting stressed out about what could be. I'm like viewing life as what it is and what I need to do. It's like I have a clearer, I'm staring through a clearer window. The window used to be foggier looking into my day, and now it's clearer. And that's just how I feel, and I feel lighter too. And my sleep, I feel like I've been getting deeper sleep. I still wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, but I think for me, overall, looking back after the course of like 4 months or so, is that my general demeanor is, I feel like I'm less in a slump. And for so long in my life, I was in a little bit of a negative slump, a mental health slump, something that I didn't really talk about or share with a lot of people. But there would be days when I just cried to myself, and that happened a lot. And I haven't done that in months. So I'm gonna give myself a round of applause.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because I truly feel so much lighter and so much better. And it's just by, I mean, take a look at this. It's just me sitting in a chair watching Gilmore Girls and letting the machine do its thing. So what exactly are these wires, this capturing, and what's happening when I'm watching this screen? You can see it flickering, kind of has these noises that go along with it.
Yeah, so what's happening during a session is the cap allows me to see your brainwave activity within the neurofeedback session. And then I can adjust parameters. So what we're doing is, like you said, it's subtle changes over time. We're gently guiding your brain back towards normal for your age. So with the areas that were hyperactive, the little red that you can see on the right side of the screen there in those circles, that was hyperactivity. So getting that to calm down, that's where a lot of that reduction of anxiety, reduction of stress comes in. Some of the insomnia, once we get those brain waves calmed down, you're able to sleep better. And what we're doing is essentially telling the brain, okay, if you perform too high and you're too overactive, then you're not going to be rewarded. The screen's going to get dim. You would have noticed that throughout your sessions, and those extra sounds would go away from the computer. So the reward system within your brain is trying to figure out, how can I get this screen bright again? So it starts adjusting its brainwave patterns in order for that to happen. So over time, we're just simply retraining your brain to fire in an optimal manner for the screen to stay bright. And that's how your symptoms start decreasing and going away.
And it's really cool because it's just, like we've been mentioning, it's kind of passive. You sit there in the chair and you let your brain do all the work. It's really cool. And then there's the BioScan, which is a different offering from neurofeedback, but it can also help uncover a lot about you. So essentially, I mean, if you take a look at your screen, you can kind of see the process of it. It starts where I have these like sensors on my fingers. You're reading. What exactly does this capture? What data does this tell you?
So this is looking at energy disruptions within your body. So the electrodes, it's the same technology as a lie detector test. So you would have had a little focus clipped to your shirt that you can't see in this picture, but it's clipped on there. And essentially what it's doing is asking your body, like, okay, how are you reacting to EMFs? How are you reacting to all these different foods? How are you reacting? How are your organs functioning? And then the electrodes are reading electron movement in your body to determine if it's causing stress in your body or not. And then we use the laser to help balance out your meridian systems within your body to allow your body to calm down and not react negatively. And then be able to have, you know, if there's something that's completely out of balance, some blacks or some reds, for example, some foods and stuff that had showed up from you, like corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, fluoride showed up for you. So to be able to say like, okay, now that we know this is causing stress on your body, and because it's causing so much stress, these are things you're probably gonna wanna cut out from your diet for a while until your body starts to heal on the inside. And then we could talk about potentially adding these back in.
Yeah, I was able to, I mean, this had so much detail that it gave me, like, I guess answers to questions I wasn't even considering asking. Like, it went into so much depth that I was able to kind of really take a look at all these different factors in my life and think, okay, what is it that might be causing some stress, and how to cut it out. Yeah, there were also like certain things that it told me, like butter. I have some sensitivity to butter. It also put some numbers and data behind feelings I was feeling, but I couldn't pinpoint what exactly was going on. Like I had some issues with like my teeth and my jaw, and that came up on the bioscan, and we were kind of able to correct that a little bit.
Right. And the nice thing with the bioscan is we can also test any vitamins or supplements that you're taking against your body, so we can say, okay, is this the right supplement for you? We know that supplements are expensive, right? So if we're gonna be spending money on them, it's like, let's make sure that you're taking the ones that your body needs, that's gonna benefit it. And then we can go back and test it in 6 months or so and see, like, do you still need it? Or do you not? Or is there something else that your body's asking for instead? So it really, like you said, gives that really in-depth look at things that you might not even, oh, I didn't even realize that I had issues going on with my teeth or my jaw, or I didn't even think about my stomach aches, that they were connected to these other things in my environment.
I like how you mentioned how the bioscan, it can tell the foods that you eat, how it's really impacting you, because we just talked about earlier about how, you know, you need those proper nutritions for proper, not only physical health, just to fill up your stomach, but also mental health as well. So it's interesting that all of that can be put into perspective as to, you know, okay, maybe I do need to cut out butter, you know, from my diet, or, you know, corn syrup, things like that, things that we may not really have thought of, because it doesn't necessarily hurt our stomach, but it can be hurting our mental.
Right, exactly. And a lot of things, what I see for, especially with children, is how sugar affects the brain. So I'll have kids coming in and their brains are responding really well to neurofeedback. Then they come in one day and everything's completely hyperactive across the board, and start asking them, like, what did you eat before you came in? It's always something full of sugar or food dyes. And I'm like, well, now we can see, like, your brain doesn't like it. And then we can use the bioscan to dig in deeper and get some more details for them.
Well, this is very, very interesting, and I highly encourage you give this a try if you're looking for a mental health treatment, for a different form of therapy. We do have to take another commercial break, but we'll wrap up our conversation with Cami and neurofeedback therapy when we return.